We have new information tonight. A popular YouTuber's next court appearance on child abuse charges. The attorney for Ruby Franke filed a motion to join co-defendant Jodi Hildebrandt's request for an expedited detention hearing.
According to court documents, Franke's defense counsel is not available for the hearing scheduled for September 21st, citing a long-standing family vacation that was planned. If the judge grants the request, both women will be back in court this Thursday, September 14th instead. I want to go down to Brian Schnee joining us live after speaking exclusively with the niece of Jodi Hildebrandt.
And Brian, what did she say about watching all of this unfold?
Mark and Heidi, good evening. We spoke for about 20 minutes or so about Ruby Franke and Jodi Hildebrandt. Jessi Hildebrant lived with Jodi and received therapy with air quotes, as she described it to me today. Jessi described abuse while living with Jodi back in 2009 or so. She went into detail telling me she was tied up, duct taped, blindfolded, experienced severe isolation, severe emotional, spiritual, and psychological abuse, among other things, such as being forced to sleep outside in the snow. I asked her, among many other things, if she's met Ruby Franke, to which she had told me she had not and hadn't heard of her until all of this. She told me that she's seen some of her videos on YouTube now, found them to be quite triggering, but telling from her own experiences.
It's been a really interesting experience watching everyone focus on Ruby, and I understand why, but this is Jodi. These are Jodi's words. These are Jodi's ideas. These are over decades old. So,
is that why you've called Jodi the mastermind behind all of this?
Yes. That doesn't excuse Ruby's involvement and her perpetuating these beliefs and these systems, but Ruby didn't come up with this. Ruby obviously supports it and has used these on her children, but this is coming from Jodi.
I also asked Jessi if she felt the charges pertaining to felony child abuse are enough, to which she replied by saying, I don't think it's the full scope. She also said she wants justice for both Ruby and Jodi to be held accountable.
What do you think the public will ultimately take away from these two as it pertains to the court proceedings and such?
I mean, I just hope that Jodi is not sidelined in this, because she is so connected to what is happening. And yes, Ruby needs to be held accountable because she made those choices. She's just as guilty. But Jodi's been doing this for much longer.
So Jessi told me that she's spoken to a detective working this case in southern Utah about her experiences with Jodi.